Like the science is not attributed to a person, science is attributed to principles. It's not that the law of gravity is applicable only on the Britishers and not on the Indians. Because it is a principle. It has nothing to do with the person. Similarly, if it is Ayurveda, it doesn't mean it will apply only on Hindus. If it is Unani medicine, it doesn't mean it is useful and meaningful only for the Muslims. No. Wherever person is important and not the principle, obsession and duragraha comes. But when we talk about principle, then all the differences disappear. Because principles are not based on persons, principles based on the facts as it is. Therefore, what is the principle that we are going to talk? There are two principles which are used to deal with life. First principle is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything is Paramatma. Ishavasya says, Ishavastyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Everything is the divine. This is one principle, which we can call for our understanding as all-inclusive principle. Nothing is excluded. Because Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat, whatever may be the most insignificant, everything is Ishavasya, permeated by the Isha, the divine, the God, whatever you call. The second principle is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Second principle is the Brahman, the reality is the truth, and the world which appears is an illusion. Now, if you bring these two principles together, what will be the effect? First, everything is Brahman. Second, the world is an illusion. So, if everything is Brahman, that means the world also. And if the world is illusion, therefore Brahman is illusion. So, we have to understand it in a proper way. And once we understand this, then the principles of life will be easy for us to practice. So, whatever we have accepted as an illusion, what is our interaction with the illusions? So let us take one or two illusions. First illusion, the sky is blue. So, even if we know, the sky will continue to appear as blue. It is not for the ignorant person the sky is blue, and for the scientist it looks white. No. It is blue for a person who knows and who doesn't know. Now, if I do not know, what will be my approach? My approach will be, I don't like blue color. I like pink color. So my whole life will be trying to change the color of the sky, which will never happen. But when I know that it is only an appearance and it is not real, what will be my interaction? I will not get disturbed by the appearance of the blue color, although I don't like it. See? Take another example. The rainbow is also an illusion. It appears, but it doesn't exist. So when we look at the rainbow, do we desire, let me take a piece of rainbow for my wife? No. And second thing, we don't feel miserable when we see the rainbow. Oh God, rainbow dikh gaya. No. So, whenever we look at the world as an illusion, two things must happen. Then our knowledge is pakka. The first thing is, we don't suffer in this world, because it is illusion. And the second thing is, we don't desire anything, These two things. Now, the first principle that we saw, that everything is Paramatma, then we desire only that which is other than the self. Like eyes can see everything other than themselves. Eyes can't see themselves. Similarly, we don't desire us because I am me. How can I desire? Desire is only about that which I don't have. See? Like for example, you are married. You cannot have desire for wife. You are already suffering. See? And if somebody is not married, I don't give my example. If somebody is not married, he will think, one person went to a astrologer and there was a queue and he was waiting. Finally his number came and he said, Maharaj, mm, I want to get married, but why my marriage is not happening? So the Panditji saw for quite long and have you paid your fees? No, pay fee first. So he took his charge and then he said, you cannot get married. Why? Because there is Akhanda Ananda Yoga. So desire is possible if only something is recognized as other than the self. Now put both the principles together. The world is an illusion, or I, the Brahman, the reality is the world. Now in both the cases, the net result will be freedom from desires. If we are carrying any kind of desire, then we are still leading a life of relative existence and have not attained the absolute freedom. Now this is the principle. And therefore you will see, once you take this principle, then the second step on the spiritual path is, we have to start learning from every experience of our life. This is the rule. See, friends. Every experience is meant for us to learn. But normally what happens? Instead of learning, we react. And when we react, there are impressions formed on our mind. And impressions are only two. I like something, I dislike something. And this has been going on for ages together. As a result, our mind is carrying initially two hair-thin lines of likes and dislikes. And this is continuously propagated, supported, and then we come to a point that our initial hair-thin lines have become the furrows and valleys. As the age grows, our personal likes and dislikes become so strong that we cannot go beyond it. And further, what we call prosperity, prosperity is more and more support for our personal likes and dislikes. Thereby, we are seeking more options. See, and we give ourselves more choices. Therefore, if we learn, what will happen? If we learn, our mind remains without any good or bad impressions. See, these likes and dislikes have no logic. See, for example, I like red color and other person likes green color. Now what is the logic? Both of them have no logic. But our whole life is guided by the likes and dislikes. And we consider ourselves to be very intelligent. Therefore, the real spiritual practice is freedom from the influence of desires. And then what happens? Then we learn how to interact with the life or with the world so that we are not a problem for ourselves and we are not a problem for the world. See? Very simple.